All the disrespect before you play, better button check. Button check.
What is up, Button Check family? Welcome back to yet again another episode of Checking These Buttons. This is the second episode as promised. Hope you guys enjoyed the earlier episode. It was about UFA, Ultimate Fighting Arena. Kind of has to do with this as well, but we had a couple of players that got into it because one refused to shake the other one's hand just because of who they were playing in the matchup. Then we had some highlights, and then who was it? A former Fortnite and Valorant player took the whole damn tournament. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Link down below if you want to check it out. But now, we kind of got a continuation. This one's hot. Everybody's talking about it because it involves everybody. So without further ado, let's check these buttons. Chapters down below. Let's go. All right, now to the first set of buttons, these set of buttons that need to be checked. We talking about why is Capcom ignoring us, meaning the EU commentators. We got North America, EU, we got the pro players, everybody is speaking up. So when I was saying earlier, it kind of ties into the previous video because it has to do with the coverage over at the UFA. What was the Ultimate Fighting Arena that just took place. So if you notice during the broadcast, I believe it was in France. So you had the commentators there and they were speaking French. But if you were watching it here in the States or any other broadcast, it was broadcast remotely by NA commentators. Well, the problem with that was there was a time difference that everybody's pointing out. Like, why would you book NA commentators for something in the EU? Why not just get EU commentators? Because you're looking at similar time zones, and more importantly, you're looking at massive amounts of talent that you guys are ignoring. There's commentators over there, so why are we not booking them? Why are we, in other words, ignoring them and outsourcing to the NA? Well, damn near everybody definitely felt some type of way about it, so we're about to unpack. Let's go. Right here, starting with Justin Wong, quote retweeting this one saying, LOL, this is straight up ass. EU has a lot of amazing commentators. Damn, he talking about this is straight up ass. And he's talking about this one from Jayuna that says the English commentary for the largest non-EVO European Street Fighter 6 tournament is being done remotely by NA commentators on a 9-hour time difference rather than the incredibly talented and proven on-site EU commentator esports. Even Sayjam right here responds saying this is such an odd choice for so many reasons. Really unfortunate we don't get to hear the EU talent on site. F word right here adding saying appreciate the non-EU head with influence, or appreciate a non-EU head with influence taking a stand and saying something. Respect to you. This is bullshit and everybody knows it. Even Tyrant right here saying what happened to that game I love. Going deeper, we got Mena simply posting the sad face saying damn bro. And then others as well right here. Oh, Vicious saying, with that being said, please don't come at the NA commentators for something out of our control. Thanks ahead of time. So it looks like Vicious is trying to get out in front of this, being like, yo, it's not up to us. Others are like, no disrespect to the US guys commentating at stupid o'clock in the morning, but EU or UK reps are definitely there and probably feel a bit shafted. And man, I don't want to be the boomer, but this esports is absolutely ruining the FGC. Continuing on saying, this is an interesting choice for sure. It's crummy because we don't get the chance to hear these EU commentators and get to experience their unique passion for the game. No shade at the US commentators, by the way. You always take the job, especially when the next one isn't guaranteed. Then we got, I kinda hate Street Fighter right now, and Cola is undercutting everyone around him. And even fucking Cola responds to that saying, I'm not even on the broadcast, dummy. And he says, you're a catch-all term at this point, man. I don't make the rules. I'm not really sure what he meant by that. But going forward saying, F-word jammers, Logan, some of the best commentators out there. This is downright bizarre, LOL. I agree, LOL. And don't worry, they'll all be replaced by whoever the Crown Prince wants. There you have it. We're gonna get deeper right now in a second, but damn, it's shots being fired every which way. People don't know who to blame. Is it Capcom? Is it the commentators? I saw some commentators like you saw kind of stick up for themselves. Like, yo, it's out of our hand. Others are saying absolutely ridiculous. We don't need to hear the same 4 fucking people all of the time. How y'all feel about that? We don't need to hear the same people all of the time. But like I said, some commentators are like, yo, it doesn't work the way you guys think it does. It's out of our hand. We simply just do the job. And if we didn't do it, it might not get done. So I don't know exactly how that works, right? But others are like F-word jammers, Logan and Damascus are better than 90% of the NA commentators. With all respect, I would rather it, or I wouldn't rather it be the other way around. Big Bird says a European major with no Logan and F-word and jammers? That's weird. And then TOs of all regions need to step up and step in to represent their ends rather than let their own talent rot. And then finishing up right here saying, not exclusively a Capcom issue, by the way, but extends much further. There are talented commentators in the EU who fail to get the recognition they deserve in a monopolized secondary career as a commentator who can't give the amazing EU talent the coverage and acknowledgement that it deserves. And there you have it. So damn, like I said, a lot of shots, a lot of questions. We wrapped it up right there with people saying we don't need to hear the same four voices, which you do see that. Even I thought that I thought that sometimes, like, why are we always seeing the same people or the same voices, and who decides this? Others saying, oh, but Jammers, F-Word, and Logan and Damascus are better than 90%, no disrespect. I would imagine, though, if you were to ask those guys, they wouldn't make a comment like that. They're very humble, you know what I'm saying? They wouldn't be like, yeah, we are the best, you know, or we are the best, but they would probably appreciate the love, you know what I'm saying? But others are like, TOs of all regions need to stand up rather than letting the talent rot, and then wrap it up with them saying this is not exclusively a Capcom issue. So yeah, you have a lot of shots being fired, a lot of people irritated. I've been wondering for a long time, every now and then you see a new commentator or a new face pop on the scene, and it's kind of under the radar or downplayed a little bit, and then all of a sudden they become mainstream. And they're like, okay, you see them damn near at every tournament and they just become a regular. You're like, in a way, you're like, okay, good for them. But on the other hand, you're like, well, what happened to the other people that were godlike? Or the other people that were enjoy? How does this person get all the gigs? Like, who really makes the decisions at the end of the day? Then you've heard for the longest time in the FGC, holy crap, it's hard to get a commentating gig. I spoke to players and pros and commentators saying it is hard. It is hard in these damn FGC streets to get a gig as a commentator, so you take what you can get. Now, people also have a tendency to kind of point the finger at esports, like it's not gonna get any better. They pick and choose. This game is killing the sport. You even saw some comments saying, I really hate Street Fighter right now because of the way it feels. I don't know. But one of the main things that sticks out is some of the commentators, some of the big names were like, yo, it's not as easy as you guys think. And we're not to blame. Like, we don't make the decisions like that. And we don't have as much pull as you might think. But then I guess the argument on the other side, some will be like, well, if y'all banded together, if y'all came together and stood firm, maybe you could make some changes. But I would assume, let's be real. I would assume that's obviously easier said than done, because on one hand, you don't want to ruffle any feathers, especially if this is your career and you think you got a good thing going. On another hand, you don't want to, like I said, piss off your bosses or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know what these guys are capable of and how direct contact they have with Capcom when it comes to big decisions like this. Because let's be real, at the end of the day, we all have commentators that we love and that we want to see, and then we also have commentators that we could do without. They were like, how the hell did this dude get the job? Like, we have this dude, this, her, him, they, them, but you know, we have all of these people, but this person got the job, and we see them on every broadcast. Like, who's making the decisions? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. We've all had those thoughts. And that's not to hate on anybody that gets chances and opportunities, because more power to you. But we've all had those thoughts, especially if we feel like it's oversaturated. And we're like, damn, everything I turn on is this person, this person, this person, this person. And it feels like it's 4 people. And we got so much talent out there. So I could see the frustration. There's a lot more tweets, y'all. There's a lot more tweets and there's a lot more cuss words that people are feeling very strong. They're disrespected. Like, we've been here. We've been doing it. Obviously, you can see the outcry from not just the public, but from the pros. You know, saying like, where are the opportunities? And why does it seem like we're getting passed over when we've put in the time? So I don't know. I'm sure it goes deeper than all that. I would assume, you know what I'm saying? But FGC looks like they're feeling some type of way about it. Doesn't look like it's going to go away anytime soon, but hopefully maybe it does. Maybe somebody from Capcom, Twitter or something like that, maybe they see this discussion and maybe changes could be made. I don't know. But how y'all feeling? Let me know. And definitely, Butt Check family, definitely let me know how you are feeling. Like I said, this was a hot one. This is the second video of the day. Hope you guys enjoyed the first one. This one kind of plays off the first one as well, because there was, like I said, other debates and things that went on, but this definitely happened at the UFA as well. So I noticed it break, like 2 days ago or something like that. I was just waiting to get to the story so I could talk about it. Other people actually reached out to me too. You know, I won't say like who they were or anything like that, but there's some concerns. there's real concerns. Because like that one comment said, you gotta imagine, like there's very few people out there that are doing commentating for a full-time job. It's usually a second type thing, you know what I'm saying? They're doing it as a secondary hobby, maybe some extra money, or maybe just simply for the love of the game. You know, so even if you're doing that, and if you've been doing that for years upon years, now all of a sudden it's like you don't exist or you're not an option for us, obviously you're gonna feel some type of way. So anyway, hopefully it gets better, man. Shout out to all the amazing commentators out there. And as always, I don't know what it is, but I know somehow, some way, we gotta pray. It's about to get better. Love y'all forever. Peace.
Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.
Before I get out of here, yeah, I gotta give props to the commentators. You know why? Because a lot of people think it ain't shit. They really do. They think, oh, they're just sitting down and they're just talking. There's no skill involved. Let me tell you, man. I get why one would say that. And let me also go as far to say this. I don't think every commentator has skill. I'm gonna say it again. I don't think just because you're a commentator and somebody booked you for a gig, even if you're on the CPT, I don't think that automatically means you have skill or that automatically means you're good. But in saying that, what I will say is for those that do it good, for those that do it well, holy shit, it is a hard job to do. Man, they try to make me a commentator. I volunteered a couple of times. I'm talking about at my locals and like little, like I wouldn't say majors, but you know, tournaments that were going on here in the DFW. And I was done in 10 minutes. I wanted to get a drink. I wanted to eat some food. I want to go around and talk to people. I do not want to sit and talk about some Street Fighter for 4, 8, 12 hours. No, that shit is hard, y'all. It's harder than it looks. It is much harder. So like I said, salute and props to the ones that can do it and do it well and be so knowledgeable and actually funny and, you know, insightful at the same time. Salute. Because the shit is not easy. And if you want a good old butt check to commentate, I'm sorry. I'll give it 10. I'll give it 10 minutes. That's as much as I can give you. Same thing I tell the wifey. Anyway, too much. It ain't HT. Anyway, y'all be good.